Now, the World Health Organization has issued a fresh warning over measles, over a 30-fold rise in cases across Europe. Experts from the organisation said Europe is seeing an alarming rise in the spread of the disease. Now, there are particular concerns about parts of London and the West Midlands, and we can cross live now to Birmingham to speak to our national reporter, Theo Chikomba. Theo, we're seeing a spike in cases. What's driving this?
Yes, well, as you rightly point out, that there's been a 30-fold increase according to the World Health Organization, and that's showing a huge increase, particularly from the year before when it was only several hundred cases. Now there are reported 30,000 cases across Europe, and here in Birmingham, it's sort of the center. 80% of those cases in the last couple of months, recent figures highlighted by the UK Health Security Agency, and that's including London and Coventry as well. Some of those highest figures we're seeing across the UK. And there is now a push to see more young people vaccinated, and it's been also extended to younger kids around the age of 5 and older people who have only had one dose of the MMR jab. Now, this afternoon, I spoke to a GP who's encouraging parents to get their children vaccinated, despite some of the concerns we've heard over the years about autism being a potential problem. And this is what she had to say, returning to some of those concerns that people have.
Getting your children vaccinated against measles is really important. It's not too late. So 2 doses of the MMR vaccine are 97% effective against measles, and that's the best way that you can protect your child from getting measles. The MMR vaccine is available for free via your usual GP, so just give them a call and book in, and they will be very happy to book your child in for those doses of the MMR. It's really important to get your child vaccinated. It is the most effective way to protect your child from measles. But measles is not just a fever with a rash. It can cause all sorts of complications. It can give your child seizures, pneumonia. They can end up in hospital. And in the very worst cases, it can actually prove fatal. And I'm not saying that to scare people, but with a simple vaccination given to your child, you can protect them against measles.
And it's those complications that health experts are trying to avoid, so families don't have to see their children come to hospitals like this, where some of those patients with measles have had to isolate from other patients, and that is a concern, and also a push from the trust in this area who've been setting up pop-up clinics so that children and their parents can go along to get vaccinated. But of course, we know it's a difficult subject when it comes to vaccinations, and that's why I was putting to parents today who I spoke to saying, have you had your child vaccinated? Is this a concern, particularly with the rise in cases in Birmingham? This is what they had to say.
Yeah, it's something I'm aware of, social media campaigns. I also work for a city council. Our public health department are pushing the message around vaccination and the children's school. So my children were late. I've got twin boys. They were late having their jabs because of COVID delays and various different setbacks. And so just 2 weeks ago, both of my boys are vaccinated.
And hearing the numbers around, increased cases, does that scare you at all?
Yeah, it is scary. I mean, it's it's not a very nice disease to catch, is it? And also, for their friends, and it spreads very, very quickly. So, the last thing I want to do is for my children to contract it, or for others to contract it from them if they were infectious.
Not for me particularly, because he has been vaccinated. So if he was to catch it, I know he wouldn't get it really bad. But it is obviously rising, and especially in Birmingham, and it's quite a scary thing because it's quite dangerous for children to get measles. He's had all his vaccinations, and my other 2 children have as well. But I remember obviously a long time ago, particularly with the MMR, there was kind of rumours going around that children could have got autism. And I think that's been kind of squashed now. I don't think anyone gets that anymore from the MMR, but I think it still sticks into people's minds.
So here at Birmingham Children's Hospital, they reported this month that they're treating around 50 patients, and there is now a push for parents to get their children vaccinated. And of course, those who are concerned or have issues with vaccination, they're being advised to speak to their local GP or health practitioner.